Rungun Ara Orun Bobo Orisha for another day to bask in the goodness of Onile's sacred earth. Every day given is very special, and here are a few details, cosmic details, pertaining to how. I'm Ayansa JT Muse, and this is your early rising or your evening settling mystic forecast. Love and light to you. It's the weekend, baby, and I hope everyone's making the most of their Friday night. I do pueo to your Ori, to your ancestors, and to your spirit guides for leading you here tonight. It's 9:07 p.m. Central Standard Time, and thus time for your nightly mystic forecast. And I'm my Auntie J Muse, the mother of the mothership, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, and the sole creator of 222.9, the mothership, internet radio. That was music from Terry Ellis with Wherever You Are, playing those sensual love melodies on your Venus-ruled Osun venerated Friday. It's day 5 of the week, the day ruled by Venus and the higher octave of Neptune. Friday is the day of Ojo Eti, or the day of turbulence. So if things get a little turbulent today, it's divinely aligned. Process it, use it for a lesson, and allow yourself to move forward. Venus, well, that's the Roman and Greek god trajectories in the primordial order of Ephi. The name is Oshun, the Orisha, or the energetic being of abundance. So no wonder Friday's been payday for so many years. See how they've been using our stuff on us the whole time? Just bringing that to your attention. So Fridays deal with love. Fridays deal with abundance. Fridays deal with kicking back and enjoying living. Not to say you can't do that every day. It's just turned up a little bit more than usual on Friday. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves just as much as I am, bringing you the music, the mystics, and the mojo. So, as we get into Friday in general, we're going to talk very soon about the special thing about this particular Friday. Make sense? In Ifa Orisha tradition, Friday is the day sacred to the Orisha Oshun, and in other systems of African spirituality, it is the day sacred to Eshu. You see, these traditions were carried in many different places, and they created their own variations. It's a very vast culture in which there is much to learn, but I will say this: don't drink too much wisdom if you're not going to do much with it. I'm going to let you marinate on that for a sec while I give you a sneak peek at everything you can expect from listening to 222.9, the Mothership Internet Radio, on a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week basis. Now, on Fridays, the day starts at midnight, 12 a.m., with solar plexus sleep meditation, leading on up into the rising Bembe, 2 hours of Orisha music to Oshun. Then we get into the sensual melodies of love. I am broadcasting live from my YouTube channel, so if you weren't already, please subscribe, hit that notification button so that you will be informed every time the nightly mystic forecast comes up, any spiritually time-sensitive material comes up, or just to check out my poems and my diaries and everything else that's in my copper pot of mystic creative gumbo. Let me take a quick break. I had a little brain fog really quick. So here's what you can expect on Fridays on the Mothership. This is 222.9, your Mystic Haven on the airwaves. Beam up. Yellows, golds, Venus, Ibashe Oshun, love, sensuality, voices of the mothers. Welcome to Fridays on the Mothership. 222.9. Beam up. Yellows, oranges, rivers, couples gifts, love. Ayansa's glass gourd bottle art, medicine woman healing deck tarot readings, consecrated healing stone jewelry, and other mystic oddities. It's all inside the Mothership Mystic Boutique, the Venus Collection.
May 13th. Blank face, soapstone, my throne, no clones, dripping lyrical honey from my beehive drones or wasp nest. At the behest of my ego, I grow, I go, you'll know. Soon enough.
The original rapper, your first hip-hop artist, was the ancient African warrior who told his stories of triumph or defeat over a drum beat. Ever wondered why rappers always say, "Give me a beat"? Well, that beat is the sacred baton of the heart. And what does rap even stand for anyway? Rhythm and poetry. So why not experience it in its raw form? You know, the open style, blaze the mic, spit the bars, poetic gospel. Oh yes. So if you aren't afraid, then join us at 6 p.m. for Rhyme, the Underground Gospel. That's 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, that is, for an hour of straight bars from everyday people. And who knows, you may hear a few of Mama's rhymes. Only on your mystic musical haven on the airwaves, 222.9, the Mothership. Beam up. And we're back. So in case you're just now joining us, I'm Mayansa J. Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, bringing you your nightly mystic forecast on tonight, June 23rd, 2023. We're just a few days into Zodiac season number 4, the Crab House. So the moon energy is going to be pretty high from now until the 21st of July. So this is a good time to get your emotions aligned. Get a lot of that water hydration as the moon moves the waters. You know, a little secret hack with drinking water? You can actually talk to the water. You can speak good things into the water before you drink it. It is a living spirit, after all. And we are on a day that venerates one of the water deities, Osun, the spring water, the waters of abundance. So add a little lemon and honey to your water today in her honor. Today, I titled the show, Oya and Osun Are At It Again. And what does that mean? In the Ifa Orisha tradition, Oya is Oshun's older sister, but many Patakis attempt to teach that Osun and Oya hate each other. They don't get along. They don't. Well, if you look at that in terms of nature, that doesn't make much sense because the river flows, and what moves the water? You got it, the wind. And who is the river? Oshun. Who is the wind? Oya. She's present in all things. And today, she showed up in the daily numerology of an 18-9 on Oshun's venerated day on Friday. So this is a good time to meditate on Oya's swift changes of love. So in this moment, I manifest that Oya and Oshun work admirably together to bring the positive winds of transformation into your life, as sweet as honey and as swift as Oya's fast as wind. I take that for myself as well as for all of you who are listening. It's the first Friday of crab season, so it's a triple feminine energy today. 9 for Oya, the daily numerology. Friday for Oshun, her venerated Venus ruled day. And then the moon, which is owned by the mother of all Orisha, Yemaja. And all three of those energies are in play tonight. So you got about 2 hours and some change to get those incantations in the sky and make the most of that energy. So we deal with our emotionalism, especially with the moon waxing in Virgo. Virgo is another, it's a mutable earth sign ruled by the planet Mercury. Now we know that Mercury is the Roman calling of that energy. And in Ifa Orisha tradition, we call that name Eshu. But you know Eshu is present in all things, so what makes you think he's not going to pop up in this one? So increase your potential, increase your love in a very practical way. Because we live in a day and society that is trying to drown out love. Hmm. This is where many of these social media videos come from about high value men and low value women and people who aren't worthy of love and people who don't deserve a good life. Little by little, society is trying to influence us to dehumanize each other. But I bet we as a human species can love each other a lot easier when we remember that everyone is a spirit and a soul first, and everything else after that is secondary. Oshun comes to ensure that we remember the joys of living. And sometimes we have to get out of the way. Sometimes we have to move life out of the way to live. And that's what Oshun comes to teach. It's so far beyond the exotic eroticism and all the sexual things that are so overplayed with Oshun. Oshun's sweetness of honey represents the sweetness of life, meaning don't get too entangled in life's tough times that you forget to taste the honey and simply enjoy being alive. Let you marinate on that for a second, and when I come back, we're going to discuss the day to come, and that's Saturday, venerated by the Orisha Eshu. I'm Mayansa J. Muse, and this is your nightly Mystic Forecast, only on your Mystic Haven on the airwaves, 222.9, the Mothership. Beam up.
Tutuori egun, tutuori egun, tutuori egun, ashe, ashe, ashe ho. One of the greatest ways to honor our ancestors is to simply remember them, to embed their legacy in the forefronts of our minds, to engrave their names on our hearts while feeding our children the alkalinity of their wisdom, to learn from their mistakes while continuing to lay the bricks on the roads they have paved for us. With that said, join me at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to celebrate, explore cosmic insight, and highlight the endless achievements of our ancestors who spent their lives doing remarkable things and making remarkable contributions to humanity. In gratitude, we pour libations over the airwaves. 222.9, the Mothership. Beam up.
Before sight. Before sight of shells there were stanzas, stanzas of my soliloquies. Before sight of wisdom, before sight of worship, there was only my written word, Afoshe. Before sight of divination, before sight of Dafa, there were diaries, diaries in dozens. Before sight of revelation, before sight of reason, there were only my rhapsodomancies of rhyme, rearranged to rhythms of my lipstick-kissed alchemy, alchemies of my depths, my valleys, my mountains, my visions, my empathies, my testimonies, my joys, my sorrows, my love. Before sight of awakening, before sight of airwaves, before sight of anointing, there were archives of my allegories. Before sight of clarity, before sight of conversion and clergy call, there were collections of my ink prints. Before sight of prophecy, before sight of priestesshood, there was poetry. Poetries that bear my fruit. There was me. And we're back. So, in case you're just now joining us, I am Mayansa J. Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves and the mother of 222.9, the mothership, bringing you your nightly mystic forecast. So, before the break, we recapped Friday and everything Friday had to bring. And now before we go into Saturday, you got 2.5 hours to make the most of all the energy I gave you. That's energy for Oya, energy for Osun on the waxing moon. So this will be a good time to make the most of those energies. What say you? Before I go into Saturday, of course, I got to give you the heads up on what's going on with the planets, honey. Why? Because everybody has a zodiac sign. So if you entertain your zodiac sign, you may also want to pay closer attention to your zodiac house's ruling planet. Because when that planet moves, it will affect your behavior more than it will affect the behaviors of others, if that makes sense. So, with that in mind, Fridays, ruled by Venus, Tauruses and Libras tend to turn up more on Fridays. So, Taurus, Libra, turn up on Fridays because that's the day of your ruling planet. So, you don't have to wait until the season of your solar return to turn up. I mean, turn up every day by all means. But Friday, Venus, that's your day, Tauruses and Libras. Also, Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. A lot of people didn't know that. So, who's ruled by Neptune? Pisces. I believe Scorpios I gotta double check that, but definitely Pisces turn up days are Friday as well because Neptune is Pisces ruling planet. So, speaking of Neptune, we are 7 days away from Neptune's retrograde. Yes, on June the 30th, Neptune will go into retrograde and will stay there until December 6th. What does that mean? Because Neptune is the planet of divine compassion, ideals, and spirituality. Ashe. In the way of the Orisha, Neptune resonates with Olokun and the Orisha Yemaja. So be mindful of delusionism. There's a fine line between walking that spiritual path and being delusional. And how do you know? Your spirit path and your earthly walk will be aligned. That's how you know you're not being delusional. And what's the difference between being delusional and reaching for your goals? The simple act of taking steps to manifest them. We cannot speak things into the universe that we are not taking actions to achieve. So be mindful of your delusionism. And what makes delusionism delusionism? The simple unwillingness to make actions, physical day by day, step by step actions towards your goal. With Neptune in retrograde, you will be reminded to stay grounded to avoid escapism. Ah, sometimes we got to move life out of the way to live. Sometimes we got to take things head on so we're not overindulging in the pleasures of life to keep from facing things we need to be dealing with. Neptune also calls us to deal with our disconnection. Hmm. And that's a really big thing in today's world because the world is getting more and more narcissistic. I don't need nobody, self love, manifest for me. It's all about me. And when it's all about you, you're disconnected from your fellow man. You're disconnected from the spirit and thus disconnected from reality. Reaccess dreams. Now, how do we reaccess dreams without being delusional? Because many of the things the spirit world places on our hearts, especially at a young age, are things that are pertaining to our higher divine path. And that can seem delusional when we allow other people and society to tell us what is and what is not practical. Hmm? So Neptune is going to challenge you to separate what's delusional from what's practical. And reassessing your dreams, oh well, life is one great big dream. Are you on vacation from the heavenly realm or are you on divine assignment? Is the answer both? And if it is, allow yourself to live it out loud. Most of all, avoid vices. Vices are a form of escapism. So it may be when Neptune goes into retrograde on June 30th, it may be time to set the weed aside, put the bottle down, put the cigarettes out, get off social media, any vice you have, it may be time to confront head on because that is a means of escapism, which is exactly what Neptune is opposite of. A challenge to look out for with Neptune in retrograde. Neptune is the planet of divine compassion. When that goes backwards, you may find yourself less tolerant of things that you were once tolerant of before. And what does that mean? Some of us are too nice for our own damn good. And it's a difference between allowing yourself to be a loving person and allowing yourself to be set on fire to keep other people warm. So keep your divine compassion in balance. That's the way that you do not spend too much time casting pearls to swine. Neptune is a planet that takes 164 years to make an orbit around the sun, and right about now, Neptune is at its very highest energy in the last house of Pisces. Don't you love it? Oh, I love the divine alignment. We are currently in the midst of Pluto's retrograde, and Pluto went into retrograde on the 5th. The 1st of May. I looked at the 5 on the card and said the 5th. No, the 5th month. May 1st, Pluto went into retrograde, and Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. It's the planet of regeneration, planet of transformations, planet of taboos, planet of the little subtle things. That's why Pluto is the furthest out of space, because it may be the last planet in our galaxy, but it's the first planet that holds the gateway to another. Pluto holds a lot of Ogun energy and it affects Scorpios the most. So if you find Scorpios more introspective and deep, let them make it, baby, because their planet is in retrograde. It's the most subtle of all retrogrades, so embrace your transformations. Close old chapters in old relationships, and you have until my Orisha birthday, Wednesday, October 11th, to get all of that done because Pluto is going to be in retrograde until October 11th. A planet that just went into retrograde is Saturn. Now, Saturn most deeply affects those who are Capricorns and Aquariuses. So if you are a Capricorn or an Aquarius and you're feeling a lot of strange, interesting energy, don't worry about it. Your planet is just in retrograde. So you will be in a deeper space of retrospect than any other sign in the zodiac. Saturn is the trickster planet, Ibasheeshu. For many people, Saturn is the planet for Babaluaye, as Mercury is another planet for Eshu. But since Eshu is the divine messenger, divine trickster, messenger of all Orishas, I like to consider him available in every planetary energy. He's the trickster. Saturn is the planet of divine justice, karma, good or bad, discipline, power, and their carnal essence. Now, the carnal essence is not really a bad thing when your carnal essence is put to work for your spirit, because the carnal essence deals with the root chakra. And the root chakra has to be fired up in order for the kundalini to rise all the way to the crown. So let's not make things a bad thing when they just need to be a balanced thing. And Saturn will be in retrograde until November 4th. It takes 29 and a half years for Saturn to make one complete turn around the sun. And this is where we reflect on important life lessons. What lessons in life do you find yourself continuing to learn over and over and over? Maybe time for a pattern to change there. This is a time to embrace those deeper crossroads, not the ones externally, but the crossroads that you find yourself at when you're in that space deep within. This is the time to really refocus your priorities because some of us just want to get up and go, and I understand. No haterade drinking here. But we can be so busy with ourselves and our businesses and our materials and our tangible things and all these things that we forget to prioritize the part of us that is eternal. And the part of us that is eternal is our spirit, because that's the only part of you that will never, ever fade. Because when you transition into ancestorhood, even the body goes in the ground. And I have never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse. So Saturn retrograde calls you to put your priorities in check because there are many rewards in store for self-discipline, self-mastery, and expressing the things that you've been through so that they can be a help to someone else. I'm going to let you marinate on that for a quick second. I'm going to wet my whistle with this good cocktail I made for myself this Friday night. And you are listening to your nightly mystic forecast on your mystic haven on the airwaves. 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up.
May 13th. Blank face, soapstone, my throne, no clones, dripping lyrical honey from my beehive drums or wasp nest. At the behest of my ego, I go, you'll know. Soon enough.
The original rapper. 16 years ago to this date, 2021, my radio journey had just begun. And my first radio show was titled The Bamboo Lounge.
Yeah, I'm laying low with Ivory T in the Bamboo Lounge. This is Andre 3000, one half of Outkast. We love y'all. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Felton Pilot, and you're here with me inside the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T.
All right, well, I'm here. Are you there? Good. We are now meeting in the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T. As always, this is your boy, Cat Williams.
Yo, what it do, man? It's your boy Flipper, man. Right now, I'm inside the Bamboo Lounge with sexy Ivory T. And I mean sexy. Already.
Hey, this is Marcus Johnson, and you're listening to Ivory T and the Bamboo Lounge.
Hi, this is Yolanda Adams, and you're chilling in the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T.
This is Ivory T, the smooth operator, your host with the most, and you're listening to the Bamboo Lounge Workdays. 16 years later, I bring my first Cosmic Jam session full circle. So join me on weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time for the return of the Bamboo Lounge, Planet Soul. The Bamboo Lounge features classic, old school, throwback, independent tunes of many genres, new rotations, all designed to enhance your space, be it your home, be it your office, your car, or your earbuds and your smartphones on the go. So join me on the Bamboo Lounge Planet Soul from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on your mystic musical haven on the airwaves. 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up. And we're back. So, if you're just now joining us, I'm Mayantha J. Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, and you are getting your nightly mystic forecast. So, we are still in the first decan of crab season. So, sorry, all you crab people out there. If you were born between the 21st and the 1st, you are the only ones who are 100% that sign. Everyone else has a sub-ruler, so might want to check that out. I have more coming on that later. It's okay. Like to wish a happy solar return to any and everybody that is born in this season. So everybody in the other 11 houses, make sure you show your Zodiac House 4 residents some extra love, because you know when your season comes, you gonna want everybody to turn up with you. So Make sure you take between now and July 21st to show all your Zodiac House 4 people some love. Give the crabs some love, otherwise, they might come pinch you. If you were born on today, you are enthusiastic in all you do, as well as imaginative and fun loving. You are domestic and you take great pride in making your home attractive and pleasant. You are loving and kind and will make a happy marriage. Oh, so if people born on July 23rd, well, the word is out that rumor has it y'all don't stay single very long. I certainly hope not with that kind of energy. In the season of, in the, what am I trying to say? In the way of the comedic way of the stars, we are still in the season of the Nile. And in the 12 figures of African spirituality, we are still in the season of the ancestor. So just hang with me for a minute, okay? I have two hands will operate in a 24-hour board. But as soon as I get some other irons kinked out of this fabric, we will definitely be getting into other ways of astrology. I'm just using the Western astrology system for now because it's the one everybody can relate to, but we're going to reflect on the more primordial forms later. So let's talk about tomorrow. Saturn Day. Saturn is in retrograde. Tomorrow is Saturn's ruling day. And in many traditions of African spirituality, Saturn Day is the day that venerates the Orisha Eshu. And Eshu is the keeper of the crossroads. I believe Eshu is the most misunderstood of all the Orisha. Why? Because that red and black keeps telling everybody he's the devil, he's Satan, he comes about to steal, kill, and destroy, does he? Or does he? You know my honest take on Eshu, the Orisha Eshu, as that he is a Lodumare, or Almighty God. He is God's most powerful angel. Because the funny thing about the trickster energy, or that energy that Christians call the devil, people forget the devil works for God. People forget that the entity we call Satan works for God. God created that entity. And why was that entity to created? Perhaps just to test your free will, just to see how far your spirit is up on the totem pole. Because the funny thing is, and I caught this when I watched one of my favorite films, The Devil's Advocate, said something very profound. John Milton, played by Al Pacino, says, I'm no puppeteer, Kevin. I set the stage, you pull your own strings. So, what I love about the Orisha Eshu is that yes, he's tricky and he has no problem laughing with you or at you, but he does not force you to do anything. He sets the stage and see how you play your own strings. And how you play those strings determine whether you live spirit over flesh or flesh over spirit. And either one will bring the consequences of that choice. So tomorrow venerates the Orisha Eshu, new season, new beginnings. Oya shows up tonight because a new beginning comes tomorrow. New season, new beginnings, new crossroads. Tomorrow marks the first Saturn day of Zodiac House Crab 4 season. So it's the first Saturday of that. The moon will still be waxing in Virgo, and Virgo is the sixth house, so that is 3 by 2. That's Eshu twice. Practical application to the crossroads you face. Because when we face certain crossroads in life, we tend to deal with them from an emotional standpoint, or we tend to deal with things based on our past trauma. And the challenge is to trust positive outcomes more than you trust the trauma you suffered to get to where you stand today. Beam up tomorrow on 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio for Crossroad Stories. So tomorrow, all day is classic hip hop. Because a lot of people wanted to shun that music because it tells the most truth about our primal essence. It tells the most uncomfortable truths of the primal essences of humanity. And we may call them rappers. Time would call them griots. So join me tomorrow for classic hip hop. If you tune in tonight, you got 2 hours of love music from Osun. But then when the clock strikes 12, we shift into the root chakra healing. I'm going to let you check it out. I'm Mayansa J. Muse, and this is your nightly mystic forecast. And when I come back, we're going to get to your nightly divination. Beam up. Shh. Quiet. Calm. We're in the stacks. The books. The library. The books are but an evolved version of the woods because, like the trees, they hold much wisdom, only this time in printed form. Reading is good for your spirit and your mind, so let's take a literary journey. One book at a time. Let's explore. Yes, oh yes. The mothership has a built-in library that I like to call the stacks. Welcome. Tutuori egun, tutuori egun, tutuori egun, ashe, ashe, ashe ho. One of the greatest ways to honor our ancestors is to simply remember them, to embed their legacy in the forefronts of our minds, to engrave their names on our hearts while feeding our children the alkalinity of their wisdom, to learn from their mistakes while continuing to lay the bricks on the roads they have paved for us. With that said, join me at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to celebrate, explore cosmic insight. Did you enjoy the sweet taste of the honey, love, and war paint from my sacred gourd of wisdom? Then you may want to meet me at the crossroad tomorrow to make sure you do the right thing with it. You're not afraid, are you? Ashe. That's www.poeticallymuse.org/Jesters intersection. And we're back. Thank you for joining me. I'm Mayansa J. Muse, and this is your nightly mystic forecast. So now we're down to time for tarot. Those of you that are listening on the mothership's airwaves, then just allow yourself to kind of follow along what I'm talking about. You can catch Friday nights, the bounty card on TikTok, and I'll do the Saturday one, on tomorrow, on Saturday. So let's start with tonight's card because it is still Friday. So you got a couple of hours to make the most of that Osun and Oya collabo. But my Friday tarot comes from the Medicine Woman Healing deck. And we drew a card from the Major Arcane, the Empress card, the Bounty card, the Abundance card. And in these days and times, we talk a lot about how do we manifest abundance, manifesting abundance, manifesting your worth, and all of these things. And that's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. But there's a certain science to understanding that. And with the Bounty card, the Empress comes to teach us about the abundance that's in everything we have. Abundance is more than money. Abundance is more than wealth. Abundance is in the earth. Abundance is in the gifts that the Most High gives us. So when we pull this Empress Bounty card, especially there's that 3, Ibashe Eshu again, we are being called to pull on the riches within ourselves to manifest everything we were meant to be. And see, some of us are having problems keeping jobs. Some of us are having problems being corporate property. Some of us are having problems, and the world will tell you that something's wrong with you. Don't get hoodwinked. Some people are simply not born to live their lives building someone else's dream. And if that is you, then dare to visit your nearest crossroad and simply ask why you're here. That question will answer itself 1,000,001 times over. So spend your life pouring out what you've been given. When God gives you something, give it back to God, and you'll be surprised the bounty that you will receive for simply playing your part and building the kingdom to come. That's going to shift over to Saturday's prediction card, and I use the Cardamancy deck on Saturdays because it's black and red, Ibashe Eshu, and a lot of people don't know this, but your standard pack of playing cards was actually your first tarot deck. I bet that's the reason why gambling is considered a sin, because it's a misuse of divination. But we have the 10 of Hearts, and the 10 of Hearts is one of the best cards in this deck to draw. And I love the card, the tarot cards with the playing cards, because secret, this was actually my very first oracle. My very first divination tool was a pack of playing cards. So I'm always going to make room for my very first oracle. The 10 of Hearts represents love, represents abundance, represents manifestation, and it's a direct connection to the card from tonight. So, in the midst of Saturday's energy with the retrogrades and the new beginning, because numerology tomorrow is on a number 1. So, with that, start tomorrow with turning everything you have in this moment into understanding and love. If you're holding something against someone, turn it into love and forgive them and let it be love. Love your mission. Love what you have. Love what you do. Love the people around you. Turn everything you have into love, and you will find an abundance so far beyond the almighty dollar. I'm my Auntie J Muse, and this is your nightly Mystic Forecast, only on your Mystic Haven on the airwaves, 222.9 the mothership. Beam up. A question on the heart is the spirit's thirst for clarity. Readings, consultations, I call them intuitive counseling sessions, but you know what I mean. They're kind of like gumbo or peach cobbler. You may have tried many, but you haven't had mine. I can say I met the divine when I was about 9. Ever since I was 16, I found myself wondering, do I have an invisible "please come tell me your business" sign taped to my forehead? Then one day I was sitting at the bus stop at a crossroad, and I had the audacity to ask the goddess, why was I even sent to earth? And I became an ethereal, intuitive counselor. And the universe has been answering that question over and over again, one phone call at a time, for the last 9 years. From there, in between sessions, I began to relentlessly apply, align, and study the ways of the stars and of the ancients. 3 years in, Orisha priestesshood to Oya came knocking. Hence the Iya in the name Iyansa J, Iyansa, an Oya praise name. Oya is the Orisha who brings radical transformation and change. Make no mistake about it now, baby. I am no soothsayer. I am no fortune teller. I'm not a private investigator. I don't cast love spells. I'm not an emotional punching bag. I'm not a spiritual trash dump. I am not a haven for jinn spirits. I give guidance with clarity, with wisdom, with love, with truth. I unlock keys to your spiritual growth and your highest destiny according to your unique design. Ready for some evolutionary change? Let's talk.
Attention, attention, attention all star seeds, time travelers, mystic geniuses, and those finding their way in the cosmic divinisphere. All passengers aboard the mothership under the sound of my voice, I have a quick question. Where are you in the mothership's galaxy? Are you a cosmic ray? Are you a solar flare? A blue galaxy? A lyrical meteor? A gamma ray? An infrared spectrum? Are you an aurora? Are you a supermoon? Are you a supernova? Are you a galactic nucleus? Are you celestial? Are you a constellation? Are you an equinox, an ionosphere, or are you an exoplanet? Let your spirit decide. Show your support for 222.9 The Mothership by becoming a member and choosing your level today. Membership level gifts include audiobooks, paperback books, healing stone bracelets, bottle art, and other mystic gifts created, painted, written, and produced by yours truly. Other membership level gifts include my signature astrology, numerology, and tarot readings by email. And most of all, you will know that you have sown a seed into an innovative, futuristic concept of melanated, esoteric radio. So let your spirit decide. Visit www.poeticallymuse.org/mothership and hit the scroll all the way down to choose your membership level. You can also choose your membership level on the Mothership's Facebook page, 222.9 The Mothership, or at Mused, M-U-S-E-D, Mothership. Thank you for listening, and thank you in advance for your support. Now back to the groove.
And we're back. So, thank you for joining me for tonight's forecast. I hope you gained some things that could help you energetically align with the cosmos for tonight and tomorrow. I've posted the link tree where you can experience the entire Eonsa J Muse orbit. Make sure you help yourself to the books, the artwork, or schedule your personal reading. I'm pretty good at this. Not just radio, but you're talking to someone 9 years skilled in the art of divination, with 6 years of Oya priestesshood on top of that, so I can help you straighten some shit out, baby. Please believe. Stay tuned for 2 hours of love music and my Friday night vision of what love looks like. Then, when the clock strikes 12, we go into root chakra sleep meditation from 12 a.m. until 6 a.m., right before we do our rising bimbe to SU. I'm going to play one of my favorite love songs that you just kind of want to send out to that special someone. And it deals with a lot with distance, it deals a lot with love. It's Beyonce, Smash Into You. Remember, the sky is big enough for us all to be stars. And in the words of the great George Clinton, free your mind and your ass will follow. I'm my Aunt J Muse, and this is your nightly Mystic Forecast. Only on your Mystic Haven on the airwaves, 222.9, the mothership. Beam up, and I'll see you on tomorrow night's forecast. If you enjoyed yourself, spread the word, tell a friend. The more cosmic people we feed, the more people can ascend. So help a sister out. Ashe.
Every day is special. Why not find out mystically how? This is the forecast on your Mystic Music Haven on the airwaves, 222.9, the mothership. Beam up.